Hello everyone, welcome to April 24 Zeam call. Here we'll discuss DevNet 4 ongoing runs and the issues that we are facing over it, as well as our DevNet 5 proposals. If anyone has to add anything, if anyone wants to add anything to it. But before that, Nupur will take us through what we discussed in the last call.
Hi, this is a list from the last call that we're supposed to be followed up on, and most of these were on Yuvanshil. Um, so I can check if like Anshul and Gajendra, did you coordinate amongst you to for the pruning PR, the block pruning PR?
Yeah, so I can go over through the list
Yeah,
regarding my
yeah, that would
portions.
be good.
Yeah, so it was not really like the block pruning PR. It was related to the race condition we were facing in the between the network and the main loop, and there were some fixings by Partha as well. So yeah, I did share the PR, and Partha had like merged my PR into his PR, and then his PR got merged. So this issue has been resolved. I think Nupur also checked it on her machine, and she confirmed that it solves the issue that Gajendra, you were also saying in the Linux machines. So yeah, I did do that. About like the second point about refactoring the libxcv, I haven't done that, but I looked into another PR that has been raised on top of raised on Zeam by one of the first time contributors. So it I have looked into like how we can do it, and I think like we can refactor mock.zig in a way. uh, Maybe we can just separate it out as a separate simulation test package where we can have a queue sort of a thing where we can push these events RPC calls, and it every other nodes in the simulation test can consume it. So I think it makes sense to refactor it in such a way. It doesn't make sense to like have this convoluted structure just for the sake of mocking. So I think I can raise a PR on this in a couple of days with the refactor. So I'll do that. About like the review attestations, yeah. So I did had this discussion with Gajendra, and we also discussed it in the PQ interop call on Wednesday. So yeah, that is also done. Apart from that, like I raised another PR regarding like parallelization of verification and aggregation compaction. So yeah, that PR I raised yesterday. So maybe I can get some reviews there.
Got it. So I'll take a look at the parallelization PR. Also, whether we are taking care of it already, because it was in some PR by Partha where with the gossip objects we should also start caching their bytecode, because if we have to clone them or to basically, especially for the block, to serialize them, so we don't need to do that. So that bytecode is already available. So if we basically if we can carry some cached information, and which basically might also include computing the block hash and things like that. So instead of just having just the block structure, we carry on some of these cached information to optimize downstream. I think that would also help. I'm not sure what's the status on that.
I think that also got merged alongside uh my PR. So that was the PR in which like Partha merged my PR, and then eventually I approved it and it got merged.
Okay, so okay, I'll take a look at the recent code and see how it's happening, and see if
Yeah,
there is something additional that needs to be done over there.
yeah. And also like I in this particular PR, I had like a wrong understanding about block pruning occurring, which was basically causing the seg fault due to like the shallow copy of the pointer. It was basically because of the rehashing of the hash maps which was causing the index to change, and and I was passing it across the threads via the index. So basically, due to like increase in the hash map, there was like rehashing of the indexes, and I was pointing out to a particular index which wasn't really initialized. uh, yeah, apart from that, like during the last week I was involved quite a lot in reviewing the PRs as well. So like that's it from my end.
Also, I have another question that has popped into mind. What have we done with regard to caching the hash tree root and sort of applying updates on this? We wanted to do that, but I'm not sure where we are on it.
Yeah, so I have done that. I haven't raised the PR yet because I was thinking of adding a few test cases before I am like before I raise the PR. So that is also in process. I hope to do it like today or tomorrow, but yeah, it is already in my mind. I'll do that.
Got it.
Yeah, but anyways, like since Guillaume has already upgraded the Zig version on SSE library, we won't be able to merge it right away. I'll see if I get some time, and if there aren't much changes, I'll try to upgrade the Zig version on Zeam as well.
Yeah, I think if we can, we should just upgrade the version on Zeam as well.
Yeah,
And
I thought.
with regard to that, yeah, what?
No, sorry. I thought Game was saying that he's going to do that as earlier today, right?
Okay.
I'm not sure if he
Oh,
already has a PR.
okay, so let Guillaume put in a PR for this. I guess he mentioned that he was trying to test out Zeem on 16 as well.
Oh, so I think I had looked into that last week, and there were some of the downstream libraries that didn't support it, and that's why I didn't do it. Like the XCV library itself, libxcv library, and apart from that, like other libraries that we use are pretty small and can easily be upgraded, and most of them I have already forked onto our Blockblaz organization uh, for Zig 0.15. So not sure how he's tackling that.
I mean, so does Zig not allow basically compiling the sublibraries with their own compilers? I mean, what I'm assuming is that what should generally happen is that if you have all the Zig compilers available in your path, it should basically pick the current one for compiling whatever upstream you are using downstream.
Not sure.
Yeah, maybe Zig might not have reached to that level of sophistication as of now.
Uh, I'll check, but I don't know.
Right. Yeah, just worth checking if this is a feasibility, then basically it unlocks. All right. So, Anshul, is your update over, or do you have more? Okay. All right. Let's move to Kai.
Yes. So for the attestation 2 file, or yeah, I already update some comments in the PR, so I suspect it's about clock screw issues, or maybe some other clients already enter slot n, but Zeam still in slot n minus -1. So when we get some attestation from that client,
So did you address the command that I made? So basically, yes, in clock skew, it is possible that we might get attestations, but like, I don't think this much would be the clock skew, because attestation we would get in interval after interval 2, right? Interval 0, 1. You would get after interval 1, and I don't think this much would be clock skew.
So I just because current spike, the block and the attestation both tolerate slots +1. So other client or implement this. So right now maybe we are
Yeah,
the
but
only
I
one.
still don't get why should attestation slot be ever in future, because if it's interval, if that attestation is created in interval, by that time I'm assuming that clock skew won't be more than 250 millisecond all across the world. But is clock skew across 250 millisecond in the thing that you observed? I mean, interval right now is like 4/5, which is like 800 millisecond, right? So
Yeah.
my assumption is that people's clock would not skew more than 250 millisecond. But it is also possible that their clock ticked earlier, so it's 2 times 250 millisecond, which is 500 millisecond maximum skew, which still does not make sense that our interval would not have ticked by that time.
Is it possible because right now we treat
So do you have the log for this? Because right now in our log we attach the current slot and current interval we are right now. So if that is mismatching, then we clearly know that interval, then the slot is not matching.
so I think it's only check the Zeam log, maybe not enough to catch these cases.
So this is what we are trying to solve for the Zeam node, right? So in the Zeam log, you should have this, right? When you, for example, threw the feature slot error, then our log will have the slot and interval on our local Zeam node. So do you have that log? Because then it would basically tell us clearly whether this is the case that you mentioned, that there was a clock skew, because we use what our local fork choice slot and interval is when we log it out, and that is the reason why I added it, to get these kind of clarity.
Yes,
Do you by chance have the log of this particular
I think I have this log. Yes, that log raise a lot of attestation too far.
So do you have the log in the PR? Can you mention the log in the PR so I can take a look?
Yeah, so I think the log already in the issue opened by Katia. So
Which is the issue?
let me see.
Because I don't see that issue opened by Zclaw on our main channel. So
Yes, I think it's opened by Katia. Sometime.
I think it was opened by Zico, but it's related to Anshal's PR.
So do you know what is the issue number?
Just
So I don't see it.
It's 603.
Is it closed?
What is the issue number, Nupur?
I think it's 752.
So, this is about using publishing. I don't know. This is different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's 752.
No, if we are producing attestations, then how is how how is the interval not updated? Because the way we run intervals is we first run interval on node and then we run interval on the validator. So there is no way validator would call publish produce attestation aggregation without the interval being ticked. So this is not possible if the interval is not syncing. Question, then the problem is something else. I mean, it's guaranteed that if we are producing something at some interval, we would be at the interval. And also I don't see the interval log over here. I mean, I don't see that the way we produce the log. Yes.
I think I've seen this error during the quite aggressive pruning that we did, because the given source block was not part of our cache, and it came up with this. I'm not sure if that fixed this issue.
Yeah, so this is unknown source block issue is different from the interval tick issue, right? So this is not even that issue.
Yeah.
So
I don't think it's related.
So question is, what is that issue that we are trying to solve over here? And which is your PR, Sky? What is your PR number?
I think it's 754.
Yes.
PR number is also
Yes.
75.
I think there are some error about attestation too far in the log which Katia attached.
So where is the log?
Yes, in the issue 752. There are several kind of errors in that logs.
I only see one particular error over there. Where is the error? I don't see the feature. Okay, in tar.gz. Okay.
So this issue was about other issue like unknown source block, but Kai found from this log like kind of another issue, but it didn't mention in this specific issue.
So if you basically take any log, we have slot and interval attached to it. I'm just from that log, I'm just copying something onto our chat. So if you see that whenever we start a log, we have slot is equal to 0, I is equal to 0 to say what interval we have locally. And this is something that you should, in the error itself, we should be there, unless we are not logging the error as we are not doing .err kind of a log. Future, I'm not able to search for future.
Not feature too far. Too far.
Far. Okay. It's not taking me anywhere for too far.
Mm.
Okay, I'm now getting it. It was slow too. So yes, we have warning, gossip attestation, failed attestation too far. So it seems like I don't know. It seems a very odd thing because
No, it
the
comes
current
from
slot is 511, and we are getting the attestation for 512 slot. This does not make any sense, right? So
yeah. So there's a limit of one. I think Mercy had done this change where we have like we reject the attestations from the future slots, and the overall tolerance is of one slot. So if we
but
rec-
why would we even tolerate one slot over here? Because it's not even that, if the slot is 512, that means there is 4 second, we are 4 second behind from some other node. That I don't think is even possible, right? 4 second skew is not possible. So if you look at it, if you look at the log that I pasted in the chat, right? So we are at slot 511 interval 2, and we received gossip attestation for slot 512. Why would we receive an attestation for slot 512? It's not even possible.
yeah, it is. Yeah, we have a constant variable max future slot tolerance in constants.zig. There we have defined this, and we
Okay, so if I just take when 512 ticked, it ticked at so 1852 17, it ticked in 1 second. So yeah, it's a bit weird that why in 1 second we so intervals, so they are three intervals, so at least there should be a diff of 2, or there's the diff is 1.1 second. Let's say if we were on the end of the interval 2 over there, so we have third, fourth, fifth, 5, yeah. Okay, so we need
so
to actually see.
so if the attestation is from the block, we allow it. If it is a gossip attestation, then we don't allow it. But I need to look to.
So we allow for the block because block comes at the block boundary, and if you have a skew, then it is possible that you are just at the previous slot and
Yeah.
you got a new block, right? Or you have not yet ticked it locally and you got the new block. But for attestation, they are coming in interval 2,
Hmm.
or you can start seeing as fast as interval 1. And but why would basically you be so behind, right? There's no reason for you to see an attestation belonging to the next slot over here, because even if we look at the log, so 512 ticked at 18.6. So this is weird, right? Because the last log we have at interval 2 is at 18.4, and then we see interval and the next slot ticked at 18.3. So at 18.4, sorry, 18.4, you are at slot 512 interval 2, and then suddenly at 18.6, you are at slot 512 interval 0, which basically means that there is some delay in processing the interval itself. So this is not a problem of interval slot too far. This is a problem of we not being able to process the intervals in the current timeline. This is what it means. I understand why it. So can we see how much time did we take? So for each interval taking, do we have a metric for it, Katya? How much time up?
No, because the metrics are more global. What we can do, we can measure and add it into the log, like how many one atomic operation takes, because metrics are like 50 seconds and they are more like medium, so they won't give that
Yeah, they
detailed
won't give
info.
this kind of detail.
It should be
correct.
better to put in the log.
But no, but what we can have is the diff, right? So if you have an interval, so if interval one was at this particular time and next interval ticked at some particular time, we can post a diff of the interval. So we can have a rate of the interval being ticked. So that would basically give us a variation if something is taking too long for the node to tick the local interval. So maybe this particular metric is not only good for us, maybe it is good for everyone, and we can have this as a global metric.
So rates between intervals, like ticks on every second.
Yes. So basically, when you tick the interval, what is the time at which you? So it's like ticking of the interval. You plot it against time, and then when your local fork choice tick the interval. So
Yeah,
it is.
okay, I got it.
It is, I think it would be a counter, right? So if you plot the rate of the counter, then you would get the graph where you would take more time to tick the interval locally, which basically means that you took longer time to process something. So can we see in this, do we have Grafana for this particular time so that we can see, okay, why have we taken so long to tick the interval? Which I don't even understand. So all these are attestations from the block. What are these attestations from? No, it's gossip attestations. So even if there are these gossip attestations, why has our clock not ticked? Because clock is running on an independent thread. So let's say, so there are, let's say on 17.9 seconds or so after that, why did the interval not tick at this particular time? It could also be that the clock is not running nice in a nice manner. We have clock ticking log or not? We don't have clock ticking log. I think we have it, but in the debug logs. Where are the debug logs for this particular thing? Kata, do we have debug logs for this?
In my understanding, this is already debug log, no? Because we
This is not a
added
debug
it
log.
file.
They're all info logs.
Then I can check if I think there was Zeam restart and console log wasn't saved for this.
So who's gonna look into these debug logs and tell me what exactly happened?
But we don't have debug log because
We
for
should have
every
debug log. This
for
is before we
restart,
tick. Sorry, this is before we tick down. We are able to implement debug logs, Partha. I mean, where is
No,
what
the
time?
debug are available, but for this particular run, we won't have because they are saved on a separate file, and which I believe is not copied over to Grafana Loki.
Okay, so can we see if we are still seeing this error log and get debug logs for it and troubleshoot this out?
Okay, I'll keep an eye out for this issue, and if it comes again, I'll share
it's
the
just
logs and we'll see.
this debug log it overrides every time we restart the DevNet. So with every new start of Zeam, overrides the data folder cleans up.
I'll probably have to set up a script to roll over those. Instead of overwriting, we just take a backup. I'll see what I can do there.
And
Yeah,
Kazak, in the meantime, can we add the metric for taking the interval? Taking the interval slash slot. I mean, interval is good enough. If there is any clock issues, they will directly show up there, not just for us, for everyone. It's useful, so we should just add this as a global metric.
yeah, we'll open PR today. So I will try to make it on Zeam side and check how it works.
So like we have it for slot, we just do it for interval as well.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. By the way, there is a spec test for checking this behavior. So right now we failed this spec test.
So can you repeat that, Kai, with regard to spec test?
There is a spec test to check the tolerance current slot +1. So we don't have this logic. So there is
So
a spec.
it should be reverted as well. Why does the Gaussian attestation have tolerance of +1? Can you raise this in the PQ interrupt channel and tag me as well, so that I can follow up that why do we have this tolerance? We don't need any tolerance over there
Okay.
in the Gaussian attestations.
Okay. So for the spec tests, currently I'm focused on the fork choice, state transition, and SSG. Yeah, fix the bug in SSG library. So right now, SSG spec test all passed. They are only. So I also fixed add two checks in our logic in the PR 754. Yeah. So there are two spec tests check some header slot compare. So we don't have this. So right now there is only one failed spec test for fork choice. And there are some other kinds such as gossip sub. So right now I'm not working on that. So I want to fix the fork choice first.
So lazy proto-array pronoun finalization, we already fixed it, Partha, right? Because we now don't. No, we still rebase the fork choice on. We rebase the fork choice as well as on the last one, or what did we prune?
We prune up to the last, that is the current finalized block -1. So the last finalized one. Everything else is retained in cache.
So also we rebase also to the last one. I don't actually, 1 second, let me just see your PR. Right, we only routing slot to root cache. We are not. We should also basically delay the rebasing. This is what Kai's second point is. Kai, how have you fixed it? Let me see.
Which one?
Prune, lazy prune of the fork choice. If fork choice get put or not.
Oh,
Finally. So, okay.
oh yeah. I see there is a PR
Yeah.
merged by.
Yeah. Okay. I see. So Partha, can you also review this particular PR because it's also sort of related, and instead of having the way he has the way Kai has fixed, can we also do similar over here in terms of using the previous finalize rather than having a prune threshold? Just share. So I just shared on the Zeam channel what section I'm talking about. So just take a look at it. And what else on Spectus? Needs fixing. 1 second. Let me look at the main description. Drop time-based block queues. No, why should we not have time-based block queue? Okay, I'll check into why you have. So is there a reasoning, Kai, you added for not having time-based block queue rather than just processing it with a +1 tolerance? Or this is just for spec test
Yeah.
purposes? Okay. All right, so maybe we can have the third point, the resolution that you did for the third point. But I'm not sure before we process the feature block, do we need to process the text? That is my question, to process the feature block. So I'll check into your solution whether it's also taking the local fork choice forward as well. Is it taking the local fork choice forward, Kai, when you process a feature block? Because we also need to see what are the implications for it, that we are processing the feature block without taking the local fork choice forward. So we basically need to see that as well. So I'll take a look at it. What else is on the spec test? Okay, some further validations that you added. All right, so I'll take a look on this and then we can move further on this particular PR. Anything else, Kai, you want to add?
Uh, No.
Okay, so let's now move to Katya.
So this week, DevNet 4 metrics PR has been merged, reviewed by Anshul. I also touched some metrics from DevNet 3, which didn't look good. So we set up the webhooks for ZCloZ, but currently it doesn't work for me. So we are trying to solve it with Nupur. So probably the updates needed for Zclo in general, because it returns error. So before that fail, I teach him how to notify about restarts, but then it failed and start to send messages to Nupur. So this is how it glitches. Yeah, so we should fix that and continue monitoring how it works. Other than that, this week I was on a big Grafana conference, like a big 3-day conference here in Spain. They announced the new 13th version of Grafana and all the updates they made. So I was following it, and I'm going to update our Grafana and implement some new features that could be useful for us. There's regarding visualization, syncing with GitHub and others, like they have AI assistant as well, but I need to check how it works. How can we deal with, for example, free assistant, or if it's possible. So this is, yeah, what I'm going to work on these days. That's it. Thank you.
Nupur, what is the issue with the notifications?
Like OpenCloud started hallucinating, and instead of sending it on the GitHub, sorry, on the test group, it started DMing me, and like I don't know where it got the instruction to DM me. So that's what we were wondering.
So basically, did you not ask it to correct it, or
No,
it,
I asked it, so it has corrected. It corrected itself now, but like we don't know the origin of that instruction.
so I mean, there could be no reason. This is what the AI systems are for.
Yeah. So
Instead of that,
So I corrected that, and it should descend on the group. But Kate is right now getting some error from OpenClaw, so I will try to fix it today. So, yeah.
so is the bot or is the OpenClaw container that we are running is able to get the notifications and process it on time?
Yes, it is. Able to get it and process it and send it to the Telegram group. It sent I think two notifications it sent, and then it started sending me on Telegram. But yeah, it is processing through the webhook.
And do we also have some poll process in case it does not receive the notifications for whatever reason?
No, like we do not.
I have a duplicated alert currently because it's still in like testnet mode. So it's just, yeah, I'm just trying to follow how it works. So not only Zclo, I don't follow or fully lean on Zclo only.
Right. No, my question is that if, for example, the notification doesn't go through, for example, it's just posting a notification through HTTP, and sometimes those calls can fail for whatever reason. So if those notifications don't go through, does it retry by itself, or do we need to pull more notifications from somewhere?
It can't pull itself, so it can follow.
I mean it by it, I mean Grafana. So I'm I'm assuming Grafana is the one sending the notifications.
Yes, but Grafana duplicates it as well, so it sends it to me, so I can catch this.
No, my question is that if Grafana is not able to deliver the notifications, does it retry later on, or does it has
I
this
don't
feature
know.
that it will retry later on?
I don't know. I need to check.
And this is what kind of notification? This is just the data dump.
No, just an alert, like for example, there are different ways to set up notifications, but they are mostly based on the metrics. So, for example, head minus finalize delay or something like this. So, based on the metrics it has. So,
Okay, so you can configure, so you can create the events and these sort of events and send out notifications.
yes, and after the cloud gets the notification, for example, if it's like finalization stalled, it technically can do some research using the logs, Locky logs, like what happened. But as I've previously told, it should be double checked because currently maybe it will get the skill later, like doing a lot of investigations. But currently they all need to be double checked.
Understood. And I think what we should also ask the bot Claw is to also keep a track of its learnings in a file so that it can basically develop this knowledge base. Nupur, I think we might need to instruct it to do something like that.
Okay, so by learnings we mean the we what the OpenClaw learns through the Grafana alerts, or the learnings that it should handle it this way. So like
I think both. So what it is, it has learned on what is the status of the network, and second, that if, for example, it said something and we corrected it, then it needs to uh, basically learn that particular behavior means that particular thing.
yeah, that should be like the later part. It should happen in OpenClaw automatically because it's supposed to be self-learning. But
I think
we'll have
Hermes was self-learning. I'm not
like
sure whether OpenClaw is self-learning or not.
uh, I think it is,
I
but I will
think that
double check.
yes, yeah, like it has its own history and then it can improve its skills. I've noticed that it refers to, for example, Zeam code base, so it already knows it. So yeah.
All right. Okay. No, this is also because we have configured it that way. We have told what its purpose is, and so we have this particular skill that it automatically picks up and implements. So it whatever its configuration files are, it basically keeps pushing it onto GitHub blog blaze zclause repo. So we should be able to see whatever it has learned and configured over there.
Yes.
So if, for example, we have told it whatever changes you make in your configuration, you should push it to this particular library. This particular repo. All right, let's move forward to Partha.
Right. Last week, I spent time debugging the DevNet 4 on the logs, ran with a single subnet one, and that discovered few issues. Whenever Zeam was running as an aggregator, we addressed few of the points after discussing with Gajinder. So now we are not aggressively pruning. So Zeam was a lot more stable, managed to run it for close to 18 hours, and it went on well. The network stalled only due to a crash in a different a client and not because of Zeam. But we did identify a couple of issues for which one of the PRs has been merged this morning. So Gajendra, I had a question. You mentioned that I have to raise a spec PR, but it wasn't clear to me what should I be doing, because the
So in
spec
this, you
is
said that in the spec PR, basically they are merging new with known to calculate safe target. So that needs to be corrected on the spec.
okay. So essentially, align spec to be compliant with what Zeam is doing right now. Zeam is the correct version, and that's what you mean,
Yes.
correct?
So,
Yeah.
yes. So we do this PR as per my understanding. Zeam is the correct version. And
Okay.
if it's not, then there will be a discussion that will happen on the spec PR itself. So we use the
Okay.
spec PR to push forward this discussion and clarification, because as per my understanding, that is why we use new, not known.
Okay.
Because if you look at the tech processing interval on 3SF Mini,
Mm-hmm.
so after you calculate the next the safe target, you accept new votes in the next interval itself, right?
Right.
So if you and accepting accepting new votes basically means merging new votes into known. And if
Yeah.
that was needed to be done, why not do it before calculating safe target? So that basically is a clear indication that safe target needs to be calculated on the new votes, which is basically an availability protocol. And as I messaged on the channel,
Mm-hmm.
availability is based upon online validators. Online validators
Validators.
basically means as per your view, what are the votes that you have seen for this
Okay.
current new slot, right? Because each time you consume new, you accept new, that news get consumed, right? So that gets empty, and then only the next slot attestations will show up in the new slot, right?
Okay.
So once you consume that, so that basically means that known attestations should not be merged to calculate the safe target. And if that is happening in the spec, we need to raise it as well as discuss it if consensus people over there says, no, this is the correct version. Because as per my understanding, it is to availability protocol runs on online validators, and online validators for your particular node means whatever is that other new attestations that you have seen, right?
Okay. All right. I'll after this call, I'll go ahead and raise that spec PR tag for everyone. I'll tag you on PQ channel. I mean, yesterday I did raise the issue, but there was no other comment apart from um, Thomas saying that there may be an issue with the spec test. So I'll let you know once that's done. When I ran a DevNet with two subnets, one of the thing that came across is that I mean, Zeam is printing an error message saying that a duplicate gossip, which is not necessarily an error, it's just a information message. So I wanted to check with Kai if we can change that to a debug log rather than an error. Because if the message hash matches, it just reports duplicate message rather than just saying that this is something that has already been propagated.
But because of this message, he figured out that there were there were basically duplicate of validator indices in registered validator IDs, because of which there were two attestations which were created for the same index.
Right. No,
Right?
this actually
Not after
presented
that.
itself. Yeah. Sorry. What I was saying, Gajendra, was that when I make an aggregator listen to attestation from multiple subnets, only then this error appears, not otherwise. So,
But
for
why
example,
would a validator? What is the error? Can you say that again?
duplicate. I'll have to look at the exact. I think it says duplicate message or something.
It's like gossip message duplicated.
Yeah,
Right?
gossip duplicate, gossip message duplicate, or something like that.
Okay, so got it. This should already be handled by libp2b, right?
It is, but we are. It does not propagate the message, but we are logging an explicit error saying. I mean, in Zeam logs, it says error Zeam duplicate gossip message or something like that.
But
It's actually a warning.
which layer is logging it?
ETH P2P dot zig. Or
Okay.
sorry, yeah, ETH lib P2P.
So I think it is coming from libp2b itself, and we can basically suppress it to debug.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you take a look at it?
But what is the gossip message? Is it like a block message or a attestation message?
I think it was on the aggregation message. So you're receiving the same, or rather, you're propagating the same aggregation message twice.
Propagating or receiving? Because propagating means we are publishing.
Yeah, we are publishing, right? Or
So ideally, we should only publish it once on a subnet.
so this is across subnets, isn't it? So I mean, this is where I'm
There is
confused.
no subnet for aggregator, right? So there is just one channel for aggregator. There is no subnet for aggregator message. It's global.
But when an
Anyway,
Yeah.
But when an aggregator listens to attestations from multiple subnets, it won't be publishing those attestations again, or would it?
it it aggregates and it publishes the aggregated message, but there are no subnets in the aggregated message. That is a global topic. So attestation has subnets. Attestation topics has subnets, not the aggregator topic has
Okay.
aggregation or whatever is the topic name.
Okay. I'll have to double check this. I thought it was on the aggregated setup, and we shouldn't, as what you say, maybe this shouldn't occur.
Can you post the message on Zeam channel so that we can look?
I'll do that. Yeah. So my, task this week is to get multiple subnets stable. Hopefully, after the current release of Zeam, that should be the case. If it goes through, then I'll go proceed with increasing the number of subnets and scaling up even further.
Can you message me your lean quick start multiple subnet PR? I want to take a look
It's
at
the
it.
same DevNet for PR. I'll do that. I have also identified few improvements that I can do to those. I'll be creating them as separate PRs, but this one I'll message you after this call.
All right.
I think you already approved it, but there have been a couple of changes after that, so you might have to reapprove it.
Okay, I just want to see the subnet assignment again.
Sure.
And verify that this is what was in my mind and what I discussed with Kata and at HCC.
Okay.
Kata, if you can also take a look into that particular PR and clarify anything that you need with Partha.
Okay.
All right. So my update is that I have been looking at PRs and looking at issues that have been propping up and trying to figure out what's been happening. And also a little bit planning on what we can do on DevNet 6, which is basically where we try to move closer to beacon layer functionality. And basically the first step is to integrate the execution and support the validator lifecycle. So this is my thought process, so that by the end of the year, we can have a long-running DevNet, which is public and which people can come and join and exit. Also, I have been thinking whether we should do it in a normal execution integration like it's currently, or we should do it in an EPVS mode. That was another thing that I have been thinking, but I'm not really sure about it, whether EPVS is the model that we would want to go at. Elstra hard forward, there will be some reset, some technical debt resetting of that model as well, which is something we can, I guess, discuss.
EPBS has been approved for Amsterdam, right?
Yes, but it could also be. It is also possible that there is. I mean, from what I understand, research is not really a fan of EPBS, EF
Hmm.
research, and so they think that there could be a better APS model. And if that is the case, then maybe that is what we should try to integrate, or we can just go with the PBS. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
We shouldn't
Apart
tell
from
it to
that,
the
just
Prism
one
team.
more thing that just photos will like start
Yeah,
will
that's what
get
I
back
meant.
on track.
Whatever you do, don't tell it to Portus. That's
Yep. No, POTUS will come to know, right? If we propose something, he will definitely come to know. And obviously, if we don't want him to oppose linear Ethereum, we would basically not say that we are kicking out EPBS, but I mean, that is a job Justin needs to manage.
yeah.
So we'll just wave our hands from it.
Yeah, also, I'll be upgrading the Zeam repo, and I'm thinking of removing #6 CLI completely. It is a dependency because we have like the hasher configurable right now, but it creates a dependency on #6 CLI, which I have like updated to Chaitanya's Folk of Chaitanya #6 CLI. So, which Chaitanya did some updates, but I am thinking of removing it completely. We can reintroduce it once we have like a decision on the hashing side as well.
But #6 CLI is something we just use in Lean Quick Start. Why do we use it in Zeam
No,
repo?
I think he's referring to the Zig implementation, the #Sig one
Mhm.
that I wrote that Chaitanya's forked to introduce Poseidon hashing, the
Yeah,
work that he was doing earlier.
yeah, it's hash, it's like not hash 6.
Okay, so all right.
And
Well, let's-
Anshul, I'll take a look at that LMDB thing. I've assigned that issue to myself.
All right, guys. I guess that will be all for today's call. We are already running over time. So we'll see you on 1 May, same time.
Yep. Thanks.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye
Thanks,
now.
everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Don't-
Mm.